Hey friends, Tara here. If you missed my 3-hour Game Awards live stream from the other night, it's permanently archived here on my channel. And I wanted to clip out the highlights, which were my raw initial reactions to the announcement of Armored Core 6, as well as Elden Ring's win for Game of the Year. If you know me, you know I'm skeptical of the Game Awards. I'm generally suspicious of the corporate sponsorships, of the conflicts of interest with its advisory board and voting jury, and for those reasons, I don't really put much stock into the results, into which games win and which games don't. If you love a game that's ignored by the Game Awards, who cares? If you enjoy it, if you appreciate it, you don't need some posers from IGN, Vice, and the LA Times to tell you if your feelings are right or wrong. All that being said, I do think when certain small or indie or less mainstream studios receive recognition on that stage, like it or not, it can impact sales. It can impact the employees, the many talented artists and designers and programmers who work on the games we love. I guess what I'm trying to say is video game awards are as important or as unimportant as you make them out to be. And for years after games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 were snubbed, I couldn't help but root for From Software, my personal favorite studio in gaming today. I couldn't help but root for them to beat out the bigger and more mainstream publisher developers and truly be recognized in some shiny LA theater for the best-in-class work they do. So sure, maybe the Game Awards are partially or even mostly a sham. Maybe some of Jeff Keighley's business interests are worth scrutinizing. But at the end of the day, I can't pretend like I'm not absolutely ecstatic for Hidetaka Miyazaki and his team for not only winning Game of the Year, but for being able to tease the next installment in their Armored Core franchise to a pretty captive audience. Miyazaki strongly implied more content for Elden Ring is indeed on the way, and he also said Elden Ring's success has only inspired him to create even better games, which is so cool to hear. That's such a Miyazaki thing to say, and I'm so excited about AC6 Fires of Rubicon, slated to come out next year. My introduction to From Software was through Dark Souls 1 back in 2011. I've been a super fan ever since, and even got pretty serious with speedrunning DS3 a few years back, but my knowledge of AC is admittedly limited. Armored Core has never had a huge presence in the West, and these days the games aren't particularly easy to find and play, but after establishing such an incredible track record with their Soulsborne formula, I think it's so interesting that they're mixing it up and doing something different. Their growing brand awareness also means more players will dive into the world of Armored Core than ever before, and I can't wait to start customizing and battling my own mechs. I love the fact that From success at this point means multiple teams can comfortably work on multiple projects, and Miyazaki is even in a position to appoint more directors and co-directors while still leading passion projects of his own. I trust this studio wholeheartedly and will devour anything they release from here on out. I'm excited too here on my channel to discuss AC6 and, fingers crossed, additional Elden Ring content as we learn and see more. And remember that you can unlock additional podcast and newsletter content from me along the way every month over at patreon.com/terapop. But without further ado, let's go to my live stream from a few nights ago. And if you're wondering, my live reaction to the crazy Bill Clinton kid is also here, so make sure you watch until the bizarre end.
Thanks, Idris. Tonight, we are thrilled to share with you another global game announcement. This comes from one of the most decorated developers in the world. It pushes this medium forward for each of its releases. This studio has been nominated multiple times.
Naughty Dog, From Soft, I mean, it could only be a handful of studios, given what he's saying.
Chosen the Game Awards as the place for this global announcement.
Oh, Jeff is like choked up over this. Yeah, Rockstar, that's a decent point. Oh! Oh! Oh, what is it? Armored Core? This has got to be Armored Core. Oh, this has got to be Armored Core. Or as Soup calls it, the robot game. The robot game. The game. Oh, come on, my legs are bouncing here. I can't sit still. What are we looking at? That, like, font looks familiar. Oh, this has got to be Armored Core. Oh, the sound design in this trailer. Like, what am I listening to here? Oh my god, this is sick. Like that kind of grayscale, like washed out, metallic. Yeah, I mean, this even feels very, very faithful to classic Armored Core. The aesthetic. Oh, wow. Fires of Rubicon. We're obviously all going to be playing this. Damn, 2023! And multi-plat, it looked like. I didn't see Switch there, but Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, Wo Long and Armored Core next year. Yeah, again, apologies for, you know, not quite getting the sound right tonight, but yeah, definitely go back and rewatch that a couple times. The sound, it was almost more of like a soundscape than it was music. It was amazing.
Do you know him? Do you think I know every human being with a mustache wearing an identical outfit with the letter of his first name on it? Because I don't. Rated PG.
Yeah, it was... You knew when they showed Bandai, and then they didn't reveal the studio, it's like, come on. Who else? Also Grubhub. Grubhub. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna order Grubhub when this is over.
Go for Grubhub.
Grubhub Udon? Man, that is so cool. I'm kind of speechless. I mean, we had strong suspicions. I mean, I obviously did a video about that earlier in the year. Like, a lot of evidence to suggest, even through like job postings and stuff, the kind of artists they were looking for, that they were likely reviving Armored Core. And I think even based on Miyazaki's comments, there's a very good possibility he's not directing this game. Right? He probably supervised it, but I suspect based on some of his recent comments, he might not be at the helm of this game. But that, am I always going to be most interested to play his projects? Of course, but FromSoft is FromSoft at this point, right? Like, and I think it's cool that the studio is growing and more successful, and it's actually maybe a little strange at this point. We've only had in the Miyazaki era DS2, where he was not at the helm and he was, you know, just sort of consulting in the background. So yeah, I think I've certainly talked about this in podcasts, newsletters, YouTube videos, but I'd love to see more come out of FromSoft. And like, yeah, the Miyazaki directed game is always going to be that special thing, but I don't necessarily feel less excited, you know, and we've gotten such a consistent stream of these third-person action games that they're just the masters of for so many years now. I mean, think about how prolific they've been, you know, over the last decade plus. So to shake it up and revive, you know, one of their aging, you know, sort of neglected IPs, I think it's super cool. And I'm sure it was a strategic decision. Like, they know Armored Core is in a position to sell better in the West now, whereas some years ago it wouldn't have. Largely thanks to Elden Ring's success, like, Armored Core will sell. It won't sell like Elden Ring, but it'll have an audience, for sure. And, oh man, can you imagine, like, next-gen Armored Core, not just like single player, but it makes you start wondering about what kind of like online multiplayer something like Armored Core could have. Yeah, initial Red Wispy stuff being the raw. Yeah, definitely reminiscent.
Wild Hearts coming from Koei Tecmo and EA Originals next year, and now we welcome one of the busiest men in gaming, known fondly by his fans as Yoshi P. Both the
yeah, Vinny, I'm with you too. That's the way I see it. Like, From Software has built up so much trust with me. I'm interested in anything they do. You know, anything they put out, I would play, and I trust that it would be a good, not just good, but a great gaming experience.
TGA, Mr. Naoki Yoshida.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Peter. Like, right, the switch up. Elden Ring's here.
Thank you, Jeff.
You know, all the old games still have such great communities around them. In my mind, the Demon Souls remake is still super fresh. I think, gosh, Sekiro is still fresh. I don't know. I love that they're pivoting. But I don't see them pivoting, and it's like, oh, that means we're not going to get third-person action again for a long time. No. They're doing this because they can now. You know the way they juggle multiple projects. They're at work on Elden Ring DLC, Elden Ring 2, the next, you know, that next Soulsborne-style game. This doesn't get in the way. If anything, to me, this is like a bonus. This is an extra. This is a cherry on top. This is just awesome. We get to experience, like, a different flavor of this studio, and Miyazaki talked a lot about that. Like, he has been at the helm of so many projects. He now gets to put other people in that driver's seat. Like, he gets to give other artists an awesome opportunity to lead a game. So we're going to get, like, someone else's vision. And, you know, Miyazaki's the president of the studio. He would not put someone in a position like this who wasn't up for it. So, that's Wo Long and Armored Core next year, and Zelda, and Pikmin. And the Crash Rumble game, and it just 2023 is looking good. Yeah, online battles could be totally insane. Yeah, and sorry, I'm not. I feel incapable of commenting on Final Fantasy right now. I'm just trying to collect my thoughts about a From Software announcement. I mean, hey, we got it. We got it. Well, and I think, right, exactly, Peter. Like, Team Ninja's in that position where they have a lot of resources. They're able to be really prolific and pump games out. I'm under the impression they historically have had a larger studio than FromSoft. I mean, don't quote me on that, but that's the impression I'm under. It is... I don't think it's stated enough how insane it is that FromSoft pumps out the number of games that they do in the short time spans that they do. And Miyazaki, he's that artist, right? Where, like, he's like a painter painting a canvas, and he's not going to overthink it. Like, he's going to act on inspiration, and when he's content with where the canvas is and where the colors are and the shapes and the geometry, he's going to step away, and he's going to get another canvas and start all over again. Like, I sense that he doesn't ruminate really over completed projects. Like, he puts everything he has into a game, and then he moves on. He moves on to the next thing. So... And that's what's so cool. Like, he's in that unique position where he's like he's like the president executive director. So, you know, he's still gonna pick out those special projects he wants to be the lead on. But at the end of the day, he is running the studio and he's managing people and resources. And any game that comes out of From Software that he's not technically the director of, it has his sign of approval. So that's really all that matters. Yeah, living in his office, snacking out of his refrigerator, just hanging out. Like, yeah, the flavor text. When we saw that quote for Elden Ring, it's like, oh, like 90% of the flavor text was written by Miyazaki-san. It was just like, that's why I love this guy. That's why he's just the best. And we're just so lucky to be here and alive and gaming while he and his studio are in their prime. Right? It's dumb luck, and we are lucky.
A lot of people are nervous, but don't be.
Game of the year?
Cool and short. So, let's see now. Yeah, I remember recently, last year winning Game of the Year. It's a fantastic feeling. So
Yeah, this guy's a wild card.
as a nominee, you should be very happy and very proud.
If he's naked and cartwheeling in like 15 seconds, we shouldn't be surprised.
But,
I'd welcome it, honestly,
you
at this
actually
point.
win something at the Game Awards. They're super cool because, you know, this beautiful orchestra, when they play the music from your game, I mean, I was sitting over there, and trust me, the hair on my body was all over the place. Goosebump, I mean. It's really awesome. So
Yeah, Cheeto, I don't know about Elden Ring DLC. I don't know. I mean, was the Coliseum PvP update it? You know, will they continue to support that? And they wanted to roll that out in advance because they had this big announcement here. They're late in their typical like cadence for announcing a DLC. If you look historically at like when a game has released and when they've announced DLC, they're now late. And the game, you could, I'd say, easily argue more than any other game they've ever made, it seems most ripe, most fertile for DLC. You know, but Sekiro didn't get DLC, right? Like, Demon's Souls didn't get DLC. I mean, they might move on. Miyazaki might be ready to move on. He might be like, hey, this game's been, what, 5, 6, 7 years of our studio's life. Let's move on to the next thing. We're ready as a studio to move on. They might be, and if they are, they are. I think we all hope there's Elden Ring DLC, and I think because it's such a big game, and it's been such a success, and a lot of these studios are still feeling the ripple effects of the pandemic, maybe it's just going to take a little longer, you know? I mean, we might not hear about it tonight. I don't know that there's going to be a final announcement beyond Game of the Year. I don't know that they're going to bookend the show with one more announcement. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'd be surprised for From Software to announce anything else tonight. You know, it feels like that was it. They announced Armored Core, and we're going to find out if they get Game of the Year or not. Certainly doesn't mean they couldn't announce DLC elsewhere, but it does kind of make you wonder between now and like March, the 1-year anniversary of the game, when's the next big opportunity? I mean, they're From Software, it's Elden Ring, right? They don't have to do it at an established industry show, but this felt like a fair time to do it. So, but there's been so much data mining too, which I don't know. I think I have mixed feelings about data mining. I think a lot of us do. Like, I think if it's a game that's out in open shut book, it's done, and people are mining through the game to see maybe what was cut. I feel like that's a little different than people mining through a game. Oh, let's hear this. Is it me, or am I a little underwhelmed by this? Is it just me? Oh, wow, that guy is rocking. Yeah, that didn't feel like much, to be honest. But, yeah, like, mixed feelings about data mining, right? But enough has come out that it feels like it's more than just cut content, right? Like, text deep in the game, like, suggesting different things. It feels more than that. It feels like there's more to come. And it would make a lot of sense. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, look at Forbidden West, right? Forbidden West came out in February. Elden Ring came out in March. And Forbidden West just got its DLC. So, I think because of the way games have changed, too, maybe our expectations of DLC being announced, 3-6 months after the release of a game, maybe those should change. Maybe that's not going to be the cadence moving forward as games get bigger and more complex. I don't know. I still have hope there will be DLC, but it's unknown. We'll find out.
Goosebump, I told you. All right. Game of the Year winner is Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah! Woo-hoo! There's Kitao. Oh, he even put his arms up. Oh, he's pumped. He's pumped. He's high-fiving. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Hidataka. This was so deserved. This was so deserved for them. I like how they showed a few disappointed people. Like, huh? Who are these guys?
Thank you so much. フロムソフトウェアのみんな、そしてパートナーであるバンダイナムコの皆さん、たくさんある協力会社の皆さん、そして素晴らしい神話を執筆してくれたジョージ・アーロン・マーティン氏、そんな素晴らしいですね。僕の尊敬するエルデンリングチームのみんなに改めて大きな感謝を伝えるとともに、この喜びを分かち合いたいと思います。
I would like to share this great appreciation with our entire Elden Ring team members, everybody at From Software, our partner Bandai Namco, all collaborators, and last but least, Mr. George R. Martin, who created the great mythos for this game.
Martin shout out. That's fair. That's deserved.
すごく大変で問題の多いプロジェクトだったので、ディレクターとしてはすごくほっとしています。そしてですね、このゲームオブザイヤーという
This is so deserved for them. This is so cool. What a cool moment.
これからも今よりもこのゲームよりもですね、面白いゲームを作っていこうと決意してますので。
You can tell how humbled he is. This is a big deal.
We have faced so many difficulties while developing this game, so as a director, I'm really relieved. And this might not be the light thing to say at the on the occasion of the receiving the GOTY award, but I have made up my mind to create even more interesting games than this one.
で、このエルデンリングについてもまだやりたいことありますので、その点でも今回の受賞すごく大きな励みになりました。
As for Elden Ring, we still have several more things we want to do.
Oh!
Getting this GOTY award really encourage us.
As for Elden Ring, there's more we want to do. And did I catch that quote right? He said that this essentially motivated him to produce even better games than this? It was a little tough to read that, but I think that was the quote. Like almost downplaying this success, that this is like one step, forward. Like this was inspiration. This was validating. This showed him and the team they could do something like this.
And finally, we would like to, express our utmost gratitude to all the fans who played, who enjoyed, and who supported these titles. And we create the games we want to create and do our best because of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, two game of the years now. We know all the previous games should have won. Like any year one of these games comes out, it's head and shoulders above.
I think I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
Who was that guy? Bill Clinton? Is that guy like a troll? Who was that guy? Did you just shout out Bill Clinton?
All right. Well, the vet believed it. Congratulations. This has been
Jeff looks confused.
and I can't believe that next
Who was that guy? Was that guy like a QAnon actor? What is going on? Said something about something about being reformed by Bill Clinton? What? You saw Jeff like triple take. Jeff was like, huh? Okay.
Performed live in the world famous Hollywood Bowl next year on June 25th, 2023. We'll be celebrating the past
So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that was a soft confirmation for DLC.
Much more about this historic
that was that Mikola? Was that Mikola on stage? Who was that?
Happy holiday season, and we'll see you.
Yeah, I felt like they confirmed DLC, right? I mean, that felt like he said we have a couple more things we want to do. Leland, I'm not even looking at the live chat. Like, are people pumped? Are people mad? Are people trolling? Are they trolling? Are they going losing their mind about the Bill Clinton kid? What's happening? Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah, it felt like probably a lot of reading into it, but we've talked about it a little bit already in the Discord server. This Coliseum update feels like something they could milk. Like this is a way, I think Soup said it in the server, but like this is a way for them to keep Elden Ring relevant for some years to come, to give Elden Ring legs, which all of the games still have very active communities, great PvP scenes. But this Coliseum system could just really give Elden Ring legs, and I think improve what a lot of people felt was a lacking, online multiplayer experience. So imagine more Coliseums, or we've talked about like verticality, or maybe a boss rush that takes place in a Coliseum, or anything like that. So I could see more updates there, but when they say a couple more things, that doesn't sound like patches, right? That doesn't sound like little nips and tucks. That sounds like a content expansion. And I think given the game, and even Miyazaki right there in his acceptance speech, alluded to how difficult this game was for the studio to make. So,
The nominees for Game of the Year are A Plague Tale Requiem,
I don't know what is auto playing here. Let me just bring down my volume myself. But yeah, it was a big game. It was a challenging game to make. So yeah, it's more than patches for sure. I think we're getting a proper content expansion. I think we're going to see more with the Coliseum update. And we're getting Armored Core next year. So, and Elden Ring won the award, right? So I feel like we got what? So what is happening here? What are we being auto-fed on YouTube? I can't really vouch for what this is going into right now. Let's just hope this isn't something like vastly inappropriate, that YouTube is just, the algorithm is like, hey, you're going to watch this right now. But yeah, right, Caveman, like when he says a couple things, could that mean multiple DLCs? DS3 got 2, right? DS2 got 3. So say that 5 times fast. Oh man, I'm like speechless. I don't even know what to say. You can smell the frustration and hatred from God of War Ragnarok devs and Sonic fans. Well, are the God of War Ragnarok devs actually upset? I don't know about that. I mean, they made out very well tonight. They pretty much owned the show until the very end. And yes, Sonic, I thought Sonic was going to win the player's choice. It was in the lead for a while. Yeah, no, totally, kid, man. Yeah, that's and knowing how seriously Miyazaki takes all of this, his relationship with the fans, and just the medium, and him as a figure, a public figure in the space. Yeah, he ain't talking about patches. Like, he's talking about meaningful expansions, at least one to the game, if not more than one. So that's exciting. That's really exciting. Yeah, I mean, Ragnarok, it's not like Ragnarok shouldn't have been represented in the show. I think that's fair enough, but yeah, it nearly swept. So to see Elden Ring get a couple. Yeah, so Leland, you're saying the kid just went. So I'm saying he was like a crasher. This was like what was this? It was like a kid who escaped from Jeffrey Epstein's island or something. Like, ran up on stage, pulled sort of like. I mean, thankfully Miyazaki got his speech out. Yeah, security, I'm sure, was on the way. They're probably all boozed up on Pacino juice. They missed him crawling up there. Yeah, Elden Ring got a couple. I think it won RPG and maybe one other award. The show is kind of a blur after Armored Core. I don't really remember anything. Yeah, Keeley was nervous as hell. Keeley was like, this is about to go off the rails. It just felt like, I don't know, something weird was going on. That kid was the originator. I think the security guards were on Pacino juice. I think that's why he got up there in the first place. I think they were deep in Pacino juice and I don't know, Madsen cigarettes. I feel like Michael Madsen maybe more of a guy who likes to smoke things. You know, I feel like he was smoking something in the back. He was puffing and passing something. Yeah, Keeley like could not have cut off the feed quickly enough. He's like, all right, that was a great show. Good night, everybody. Trying to nervously button his blazer. Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. And again, it was fun, right? Like no award show or video game showcase is ever going to be perfect. You're never going to please everybody. That was better than some previous Game Awards. There were some interesting announcements. There were a lot of funny, like unintentional comedy wrinkles throughout. There always are. These things are inherently weird and awkward. And I've also been live streaming for 3.5 hours. So I am probably going to bounce. And I am actually being dead serious. I might order some food. This was so much fun. And yeah, this is like, I don't know, popping the live stream cherry, I guess. I've never done this before. And maybe we'll turn this into like a regular thing when there's some kind of industry event or, you know, something going on. But yeah, super fun hanging with everybody. Thanks for coming in.